You probably know by now that I'm planning to read Crime and Punishment in Russian. And in order for that to happen, I've decided to plan it out a little bit, because otherwise it's just never going to happen, right? One of my commenters asked a question about a read-along, and I did try and find your name. I searched through all the comments so I could mention you, and I can't find it, because the YouTube comment system's pretty hard to navigate in the studio thing. But anyway, thank you for your suggestion. What I've done is I've set up a read-along in the StoryGraph app. So I messed around with it today. I've used it a little bit, and I think I now have a trial version of the Plus, which means I have access to more features. The read-along may be a premium feature. If it is, I'll end up having to pay for it, because I've just set up a read-along for Crime and Punishment. The Roger Cockrell translation specifically, which is this one here. This is the most recently published one, published in 2022. And as soon as I saw it on the bookshop.org website, I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. And the cat's just woke up. Here she comes. It wouldn't be BookTube without cats, would it? You coming up? So, for those that don't know, what my plan is to read the book in Russian. I have a copy here. I also have a copy on Kindle with a dictionary, which will allow me to look at the English translations, and also a Russian, what's the word, Tolkovy Slavar. Can't remember the English term for it. Basically, we look up definitions of Russian words in Russian. So I'm going to need all the assistance I can get, because I haven't read Russian in a long, long time. And the goal is to get through the book by the end of the year. So if we start from next Monday and we read a chapter a week, we're going to end up with 41 chapters, which will take us right up to the 29th of December. So if you want to read along, it's not a terribly onerous schedule. The chapters are quite short. I've put together a spreadsheet with all the dates, all the page numbers, all the chapter numbers, etc. in the Roger Cockrell translation, along with links to buy them, which, I mean, obviously they're affiliate links, because I'm looking for a little bit of support there. And I mean, what I'll be doing is reading it in Russian and getting through as many of the translations as I can side by side. I have 7 different translations. So at the moment I've got 5. They're all here. So Slater, Pasternak Slater, Michael Katz. I mean, you've seen all these before. I've showed them on my channel. Oliver Reedy. I love this cover. I've got Pavirin Volokhonsky on the way, along with David McDuff, which is the one I read in December and then gave away as a gift. So I've bought another copy of that. They're on their way. And I've also got Constance Garnett on Kindle. So 7 translations in all, which I will be comparing as I go and taking it nice and slowly, a chapter a week. So if you would like to join me, please do. That would be amazing. As I said, there's a link to the StoryGraph app read-along page on my profile, and I'll set up a forum there as well so that we can discuss. Obviously there's going to be spoilers and all that, and it'll be a good place for me to collate some notes perhaps, because I've never done this before. I'm not really sure what the format will be. How does one compare 7 translations? You know, it's a tall order, but it's something I'm very excited about. I think this could be a real project of love for me, and it will revive my love of Russian language. It will revive my translation skills, for those that don't know, which is probably all of you, because I've never told anyone on my channel. But I did work as a translator for about 12 years, not translating fiction. I was translating tax legislation. Not terribly exciting, but that's what I did. And then I moved on from that. That was when I worked in Kazakhstan for Ernst & Young. I worked in the tax department. So I was translating the tax law, client correspondence, anything to do with tax and accounting and auditing, stuff like that. Then I left and I moved to Luxembourg, and I worked for a non-profit where I was translating old Pravda and Izvestia articles round about the time of the conception of the European Union. So it was a digital library that was collating lots and lots of information about the European Union, and Luxembourg is the place for that because that's one of the founding countries. So yeah, but I finished that in 2007 when I moved back to Scotland, and that was the last time I used Russian. So, you know, I'm really excited to be getting back to using what I was trained to do. I've got an undergraduate degree from St Andrews in Russian language and literature, which is where I first read Crime and Punishment. And then I got a master's degree in translation and interpreting, which is where I met my wife. Back in 1998, we first met. So yeah, we've been together a while, and she's a translator as well. She also speaks a bit of Russian, but I don't need to tell you any more about her. That's what I'm going to do. So if you want to join, that would be amazing. I look forward to seeing you on my StoryGraph app. And I'll put links also down below in this video so you can click away, buy the book if you need to, and look at the spreadsheet and the StoryGraph app. Right, that's me. See you there. Bye for now.